I gotta go get help.
Quick, where are you going?
Whatever we saw, just over there. All right, you'll have what we need, but they'll know where to get it.
No, we do
You're
not.
not gonna be scared of them, right? So you just keep walking.
What? Xavier. Don't leave her, 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 don't leave her. Xavier! Oh, somebody's behind you! Somebody's behind you! No! I just knew he was stuck. Oh, man. Why are you running with your knee? Take the fucking Oh, God, I need a minute. Darling on a horse with a little white baby. Lord, have mercy. I done seen it all now, y'all. Go, Xavier. So just so everyone knows, Paradise is trying to kill you. Cause we can't make it through this. Everybody, welcome back to the Official Paradise Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Michelle Bethay. And after that emotional episode, make sure you're all caught up by streaming seasons 1 and 2 of Paradise on Disney+. But I might need someone else to host today because I have had several heart attacks watching that episode. Oh, my Shay.
It's an intense one.
It's so intense. I don't even know where to start. I kind of I'm tearing up because...
I tear up and I did it.
I can't imagine.
The script is reading the script, I was like, how are we gonna film this?
I know, it's so sad. But
intense.
Annie, we fall in love and, R.I.P. to rest in power, rest in peace to our Annie. And you're here in the studio to help us all just hold our hands, or we're just hold each other's hands, collective hand holding. Shailene Woodley, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank
you
you
again for being here, and
Happy
we really
to be
appreciate it. And we're gonna appreciate this group therapy because I think we all need it, right?
I need it for sure. So
right?
Thank you.
As actors, I don't know about you, but there's some characters that I get very, very, very attached to.
Yeah.
But some I'm just like, I just have to sit with how they end.
Mm.
Where were you? Do you miss Annie? What did you?
Well, I'm a very emotional person, so talking about death anytime makes me cry. But I think what's so jarring about it is that it's over before we even had time to process that it began.
Yes.
It's so quick. And I think that when someone does go that quickly, it leaves everyone else in a complete tailspin. There's no preparation. There's no time to rationalize or be in your cognitive brain about what is going to happen. It just happens.
Yeah.
And I think that is what we all probably feel after watching this episode.
Yeah.
It's like, how is that real? That can't be real. That can't be real. That didn't actually happen. Did it actually happen? No, it didn't actually happen.
Right. No, and you keep waiting for the Deus Machina.
Yeah.
Right, to just come and save her some kind of way. You keep hoping for something.
And Sterling is there, who's like the guy who usually always has the answers.
Right.
And who Xavier, he always knows how to provide and protect. And I think, one of the things that gets me the most, and he's so brilliant in that scene, is obviously Annie's having her thing, but if you watch his face and his posture, what he does is so genius. You watch him know and recognize how helpless he is. And then the guilt of being helpless in a situation that actually needs his help the most.
Yes.
And knowing there's literally nothing he can do apart from hold and be held.
And her father, he was leading a group to the bunker to start the world. You will not let her be afraid of people. Promise me, Xavier. This is your holy charge.
And guide in these few seconds of transition, watching that be processed behind such a strong man and a facade of keeping it together, stay strong for everyone else, is it's just, he's remarkable in it.
Oh,
It got me.
Yeah,
It's like watching someone, it's one thing to watch someone pass away. It's another thing to watch someone else watching and holding someone as they go through that experience.
Yeah. And so let's go back to the beginning of 204 because
Okay, 'cause she's still alive.
Yeah, she's still alive. Let's take it. Let's just roll it back because so much happens. Like so much love and life and ups and downs happen in this episode, right? It's like everything is, and I would imagine if it's the end of the world and the stakes are so high, just like in a person's life, it's like it's sort of like when everybody starts college together and by the end of the week everybody's best friends. And it's like we literally just met, but it feels like we've known each other for our entire lives, kind of a situation. And there you are on your horse. I mean, my God, the horse,
know, the horse.
right?
How good is the horse?
I
by
was
the way,
like, where did they find a
the
good
best actor in the whole show.
It was the sire, Mr. Ed. Like,
what a horse!
What a horse, right?
Yeah.
And you're on the horse, and you see this guy. What makes you say, "I'm gonna like"? I mean, I think we kind of have an inkling, but what makes, of all people, Annie?
Yeah.
Of all people.
Bring him back to Graceland?
Yes.
I think it has nothing to do with him. She's not interested in helping him. I think she's interested in how he's going to help her. And I think she goes, all right, so clearly this man knows how to fly a plane, which means he came from somewhere. And I remember Link told me that this bunker in Colorado has planes and has access to materials and resources that no other part of the world has. And so I think she clocks all of that together and somewhat assumes maybe he came from Colorado. And if he didn't come from Colorado, he has information that she doesn't have. So he's a very important resource for her to lean on.
And do you think the fact that he's so incapacitated makes it easier for her in some ways?
Absolutely, yeah. Despite her being so pregnant.
Right? No, I thought about that. I was like, if he were in any state to do her harm,
Yes.
I think it would have been handled very differently.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's really beautiful what Dan created in this because it's what Gail did for Annie in the beginning.
Yeah.
Gail, I think, also needed maybe a friend at Graceland surrounded by all these dudes. And now has some, a young girl to come communicate with and have a rapport with at work. And by doing so, she saved Annie. And that's kind of what happens with Xavier and Annie is Annie sees that she could use Xavier and Xavier also needs her help. And so she saves him. And there's some synchronicity there.
Oh, I've never thought of it that way, but yeah, there very much is.
The roles are just switching.
Yeah. Now you have a lifeline because, and I said this, I think I mentioned this to Dan, but like anybody who's been pregnant knows what happens when you take your blood pressure. It was like, we all know what's coming, that your blood pressure is getting higher and higher. First we see you take it.
Yeah.
And then we see that look on your face. It says
you see her write it
everything.
down.
And then you see her writing it down and she's just carefully charting. And everybody knows. Well, anybody who's been pregnant knows it's preeclampsia. What's that like? Because Annie has all of the information she needs to be terrified.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the fact that she's pregnant in an apocalypse is terrifying enough. And then to have that on top of it. I mean, I think that her knowing and her choosing not to tell Xavier and her choosing to try and survive anyways has always been what kept her alive. I think that ability to go, okay, sure, there's an apocalypse, but I'm going to pretend like my canned food isn't running out. And okay, I'm now alone because Gail passed away, but I'm still going to talk to the walls because I don't want to pretend like I'm in a house completely alone. And Annie has always used different survival skills of, I don't want to say ignoring the problem, but managing the problem and just not making it the most important thing in the room to focus on. And I think that's what she did here as well, which was, this is a very real, very life-threatening thing that she's experiencing, and yet she's not going to give it the power until that power is absolutely taken.
Well, that makes sense because it probably keeps you as calm as you can. I mean, that's the other thing. The reality is you have to stay as calm as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because any kind of freaking out.
And she wants to give this baby a life, I think that in Annie's mind, she's like, all right, even if something awful happens to me, I'm going to do everything I can to protect this child. And that was something that we spoke at length about, Ken, the director, Sterling and I, and Dan going into episode 4 was what has shifted in Annie from episode 1? What was the shift from her experience with Gail, her experience with Link and the guys? Because she is more trusting once Sterling's in her house. You know, she does handcuff him, but he's also a strong man. Like if he wanted to get out of it, I'm sure he could have figured it out. And she knew that. But and I'm not a mom yet, but you can speak to this. And I asked friends of mine who are mothers, there is a mama bear, I will do anything to protect my cubs energy that I think exploded in Annie the minute she found out she was pregnant. And the fear of leaving the home, the fear of being around people, the fear of everything that has ever stopped her in life. I don't want to say it went away, but it had zero power over her anymore because her North Star was protect this child, make sure that the pregnancy is as healthy and as strong as possible for this baby, because this baby is going to be born into a world that is really dark and really difficult. And she wanted to give it as much light as humanly possible so that when this baby was born, there was an opportunity for life that maybe did have a little bit of hope in it. I think that was sort of Annie's way of coping with everything. And it gave her these guts that I think we saw glimpses of it in episode 1, but absolutely she had nothing to fear anymore in episode 4.
I'm wondering, because I was with Annie when Xavier wanted to go and like go find help.
How dare he?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was like, now when you get shot by these crazy people, it's gonna be whose fault? Your fault.
Right.
But I was so with your character in the sense that we can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Like in that situation, where would you fall? Like, were you with Annie? Are you more of a trusting person?
I mean, I'd be a little more torn than Annie because I think I'm always like, all right, if we don't have the medical equipment now, then go, I need you to get it. But Annie's harboring the secret, right? She kind of knows it doesn't matter whether he gets the equipment or he doesn't get the equipment. Like, the baby's gonna be okay because babies have been born all over the world with no tools or no equipment and they're fine. But she knew that she probably wouldn't be. And so when he leaves, it's more than just him leaving in the middle of a labor. It's him leaving and her thinking, even if I have this child and I manage to birth this child alone, this baby's not gonna have anyone on the other side. And I think that is all going through her head, the panic of that and knowing that the end is probably very close is like the biggest.
When do you think Annie, I mean, I know she doesn't really have much of a choice in the matter, but there feels like there's a moment when Annie and Xavier become, for even the briefest of time, a really good team.
Yeah.
So much so that you have as much peace, it feels like Annie has as much peace as she's going to get giving her baby to Xavier.
Oof, that makes me cry.
Right? No, but when does, I mean, I know it has to happen for Annie. She has to make that choice, but you actually don't have to make the choice. I mean, there are other people there. You could have been like, okay, this lady right here, you take my, when does that happen for Annie?
I think that Annie, amazing, right? I think that Annie sees an equal in Xavier, and it's the first time in her life she's ever felt she's had an equal. I think that she sees him as someone who's fully capable on his own, who does not need her. He needs nothing from her. Even Link, who she's in love with, needed something from her. He needed her. Gail needed her. Her mother needed her. Graceland needed her. But Xavier does not, and yet he still chooses her. And I think that there's a piece of that for Annie that is a melting and a relief that she's like, I have this oak tree beside me that's fully rooted and available and offering me a peace and a safety and a security, but not from a place of, it's not transactional. Yeah. Even though it is on paper, they're gonna go to Atlanta, then they're gonna go to Colorado. They have this whole kind of transactional plan. What develops from there and sprouts from there is, I think, two people. And I think Xavier feels the same thing from her. Like, damn, this pregnant lady doesn't need anything from me. She's stitching me up. She's the one telling me what we're gonna do. And I think that there's a silent respect that these two people have in a world surrounded by a lot of people that maybe they haven't necessarily deeply respected before. They might have loved, enjoyed the company of, felt inspired by or educated by people in their surrounding, but to have deep respect for someone, I think really brings an inner peace.
Would you trust Sterling with a baby in the apocalypse?
Of course I would. You know, my favorite thing actually about working with Sterling, because I was like, what's it gonna be like? Xavier's so intense.
Yes,
you know, like what is this? And the first day on set, I just hear this music and I hear someone like jamming to music on the soundstage, getting his touch-ups, dancing, and I see his shadow through this like tent, the touch-up tent. And I was like, oh, I like this guy already. So yes, I would trust that guy with my baby because I feel like that kid would be protected, he'd be seen, and there'd be a lot of play.
Thank you for being on the pod today, and thank you for being such a great lead-in. I don't think my husband's ever had anything like that because we get to talk to Sterling and James Marsden next.
Great.
Yeah. Shaylee, my Shay-Shay.
Your Shay-Shay.
You will
I love
forever
that. You
be
claimed
my
that.
Shay-Shay.
It's yours. I offer it to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's prep OR2.
What's going on?
The baby's heart rate dropped. There's been a prolonged decel. We're prepping Mrs. Brown for the OR. We need to do an emergency C-section.
Excuse us.
Watch behind. On your left, coming through.
Stay with me.
Right here.
On your left.
Where's the father?
Second
He was
left.
a staffer on the plane carrying Congress.
Excuse us.
Behind you.
I'm gonna go in there with her.
Doctors have got this. Let them do their jobs. Sir, I can't allow you to go in there unescorted.
Okay, well then scrub the fuck up, Xavier.
Stay here.
Okay, welcome back. I want to welcome back my guests. I want to welcome back everyone to the podcast. This episode I had to take down in two chunks because it was too much.
Really?
It was too much. It was too much.
Okay.
It's everyone says shocking, but I think we can't use the word shocking anymore about Paradise because it's too much.
Okay.
So, James Marsden, Sterling Kelby Brown,
Yes,
you guys are back. You guys have a baby together in this episode, right?
Yes.
You have a baby.
First
There's a
baby
whole-
born in the bunker happens on
Yes.
this watch. Yes.
Yes. So my first real question,
Yeah.
is it true that they have found babies living for 3 days in earthquake rubble?
Yes.
It is true.
Yes.
We're going to go with that.
It
Okay.
is true.
It is true. All right.
Human beings are incredibly resilient.
Yes, human beings
that was an
are,
actual
but,
line that I say.
Yes.
In the operating room.
He was in the operating room,
Yeah.
calming her down, which
Yeah.
leads me into the episode because it was really, really, really lovely the way in which they used your character. Because you know we're aching for you to come back. We really are. Because you know we've missed you. We know that you died. We don't want you to die. We don't want you to go. We're like, come back, and you come back.
It's a breath of fresh
And-
air every time he steps on screen.
Very much so.
For sure.
Hey, the woman of the hour. How are you, doctor?
Mr. President.
Oh, Cal, please. How we feeling? Feeling good? Excited? Any nerves? Any regrets about the cost of college education in 2043?
There's a levity that he brings to serious situations, and there's a balance to both of them that you have. Like something very serious, a baby is being born. Life is transpiring in our new world. So you want to comfort this woman and let her know it's historic and that I'm here for you.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah, and you want to unify everybody in this new community as
Yeah.
well. Like, you know, he has the sort of way he sort of barges into Sinatra's office.
We got the call. It's happening. Luisa Moreno. The pregnant lady. She's gonna be the first woman to give birth down here.
I know who she is. I'm wondering why you think it's a reason to burst into my office unannounced.
That wasn't really a burst. It was more of an amble. But look, this is a big moment. We've been down here for 5 months. This is my first chance to give people a reason to smile, a chance for everybody to see that we have a future here, that this is hope.
He leaves that conversation. She just wasn't really interested in having the
No.
conversation. I said, let's give everybody something to be positive about.
Yeah.
And so that's behind the whole thing. And this is a woman who lost her husband in one of the planes that went down.
Yep.
And so he wants to be that figure for this woman and also kind of unite everybody and lift everyone's spirits. It's a
Yeah.
great first baby being born in the bunker. It's
huge.
It's
Huge.
gigantic. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we get, again, we talk about the balance of the humor and the reality of the situation, which is this is once again very real for you. This is what you're good at. you know, which is
James?
Well, we talk about James and Cal
I've done
being
that as
one
well.
of the same. You know, like you guys are good at bringing the hope. You guys are good at bringing the like, no. We are human beings, and I that's what I think I love so much about not just this episode, but the overarching theme of season 2, which is we have to hold on to the things that keep us human. And it's just it's sprinkled in there. And I think it starts here, with you, when you're like, no. People celebrate babies.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're going to celebrate this baby, Hope.
Yeah.
You know, which she doesn't name the baby Hope.
Well, that's the levity there, right?
Yes. But you do get
How do I get a name Hope? you see him just trying to get his agenda going there on the side a little bit.
And you guys were in the room together, and we what was it like for you guys being back together? Because I had actually forgotten that you don't like him at this point, which is a whole other point of contention that we don't have time to talk about.
Sure.
But I forgot, and speaks to you being such a good actor, because I was like, why is he being so mean? Oh, he don't like him. What was it like for you guys being back, getting to play again and play that dynamic that we miss, that the two of you?
I mean, you can answer, like, we don't say a whole bunch to each other, but it's always fun to be in the space, because I always feel like straight man to his sort of like
which I love.
The zanier side.
The straighter he is, the love. I just like to crack that nut, you know?
So it's a good dynamic, but I also just sort of loved listening. I think one of my favorite things of Xavier is that he does do a lot of listening, and what I take from the scene in the bunker to outside is like, oh, this man is really comforting this woman through this situation. Like there's a lot of things that could easily stress her out. The doctor's running around, and you have a way of reframing it and contextualizing it for her in a way that, like, look, these are people who know what they're doing. And all these people are here for you. And then when it's done, you see them leaving, that means there's nothing else to be done.
Nothing to worry about.
Everything is fine.
Hey, you see this? They're leaving because there's nothing else to do in here. Baby's okay. Everything's okay.
So like that idea of being able to comfort, I think for Xavier, when he's out by himself trying to figure it out, is like, all right, how do I comfort this woman? How do I try to create for her what I saw the president create for the woman in the bunker with all the other accoutrements? And we don't have any of that, but like still taking the kernel of that and trying to apply it to that real life situation.
Well, Sterling, you do have real life experience.
I do.
With children, babies.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that or not.
Because now I realize, I was like, you were so gentle and loving with Annie.
Yeah.
And at no point did you tell her she wasn't crowning. At no point did you tell her to go back to bed. And at no point did you disappear and go take a shower. So
I did not, what?
I'm just wondering.
Take a shower.
Well, okay, I was in the shower and you disappeared. And I didn't know where you were for like 45 minutes of my labor. I wasn't in labor that long.
You went into the shower. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know this story?
I don't know
I'm
if I
going
do.
to make this as quick as possible.
This is great. I feel like I'm in your living room.
We have 2 children.
Yes.
Both of them were born in our bedroom.
Oh, wait. Yes, I did know this.
You do know this part. What she's referring to is that, like, she had her first contraction at 11 p.m., and the boy was born at 2:23 a.m. the next day. So 3 hours and 23 minutes later. It's late at night. We're trying to go to bed. Your mom had just left from us watching a rewatch of the BET Awards.
Yes.
It was as soon as she walked out the door, my wife goes, ooh.
Contraction.
I think I just felt something. And I was looking at the clock like, oh, snap. Then like 15 minutes later, she was like, ooh. I think I felt something. I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go.
No, but then he went to sleep. He went to sleep.
So no, wait.
Go to sleep on Annie.
They always tell you, ladies, please, if you have babies, what they always tell you? Oh, you're in for a big day, right? It could be anywhere from 24 hours to what have you. Just because you have the first one doesn't mean it's gonna happen in the immediate future. So the doula was even like, we texted her, she's like, look, make sure she gets lots of rest. Mommy's in for a big day tomorrow. I was like, Rod, we should try to go to bed. Right? And then you have like your hypnotherapy tapes because you're a crunchy granola black woman. So I was like, listen to your hypnotherapy tapes and do your thing. And what would happen is she'd keep popping up out of bed. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, all right, go to the bathroom. And then I try to get her back to come into the bed, try to get her to relax or whatnot. Then one time you came crawling out of the bathroom. And I tried to do this thing where I hold her hips up and together because that's supposed to relieve pressure off your lower back. But I was doing it, no, so you're right.
Thank you,
I was
thank
rubbing
you.
your back. I was rubbing
You're right. I was asleep.
Where? Yes,
Wait,
where
I
were
was
you when
rubbing
you
your
were
back.
rubbing my back?
I was in the bed.
Okay.
Trying to coax
And
you
how many
back
hands
to
did
the
you
bed.
use?
Two or one?
No,
one or two.
One while you.
I only
it
got
was
this
more of
many.
like
It was one of
a
these.
sleep
And at a certain point, you go, I need you to get out of the bed and come rub my back. Then I knew, oh, this shit is popping.
My point is that, and even bringing that up, is now that you've seen Xavier
Yeah.
act very differently with a sense of urgency and purpose during a labor, would you have?
I'm gonna fire you right now. I have the power.
You're about to go.
Would you have done anything differently with your wife?
Can I say, was I calm?
You were sleepily calm, yes. Yeah.
Ooh, Ryan. Ooh,
It's
Ryan.
okay, baby. Get back in bed.
Ooh, Ryan.
You got a long,
Did she throw in a
you got a long night.
threw a little
Yeah,
snore in there too?
I delivered this child.
Uh-huh.
Like, we got the midwife on the phone or whatnot. So she said, I think I'm in labor or something like that.
No, I said, I think I'm crowning.
She
and
said,
you
I think I'm crowning. And I said, oh, sweetheart, you can't be crowning. It's too soon. So we finally, like, she had
Because he's crowned
the
how many
paramedics.
times in his life?
How many times did you crown?
Well, I had the equipment. I could at least
Anyway,
envision what it
She had
meant.
the paramedics on one line, and I had the midwife on the other line, right? And so I looked down in between her legs, and the baby's head is all the way out.
Oh.
So she's beyond crowning. And the midwife was like, oh, good. She said, wait for mommy to push again and catch the baby, because we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
And then, so put him or her on mommy's lap so they can start bonding. Sure enough, the bird pushed again. His little body just wriggled out. Boom, just came out. He cried just a little bit, like, right? I didn't have to smack him or anything. I had to pass him in between her legs. I didn't drop him. Hey, shout out to Coach Holtman, high school football coach. I didn't drop the ball.
All the time.
Didn't drop the ball. That shit was firm. I had it tight. So look,
But his coach came in the middle of this and he handed the baby to him.
put him or her on your like tummy, and Ryan's sort of like shaking, and then she goes to hold the baby or whatnot, and then he starts, looking to feed, and then the paramedics come like 2 minutes later, right? And I was like, oh, fellas, it's all good. We got a boy and everything.
He did. He opened the door. He was like, hey, how are you? Oh, well, she's just right here in the back. Why don't you just come on?
But listen,
I was like, how are you this calm?
This is my point to you, and then how it plays into the story. I knew we were in a high pressure situation.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that if I freaked out, no good comes from it. And you're not gonna give me any credit for it, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm going to give myself credit for it.
Okay, well.
Because there was aspects of the situation that were very scary, but I chose to believe, because of the midwives, honestly, that your body knew what to do. And I was like, I'm gonna trust and believe in this situation that Rye knows, her body knows what to do, and not add to anything to cause agita, right? And I think in this situation, Xavier kind of he's like, I don't know anything. We don't have, I said, Doc, what do we need in this place? She said, all right, we need clean towels. I was like, this shit is dirty, right? I need some instruments to do this. I was like, all this shit is dirty. I was like, girl, I gotta go get some help. And she's like, don't trust people. And I was like, no, sis, it's okay to believe in goodness. I gotta go get help. If not help, then at least a few supplies to help you deliver.
No.
You're not gonna have this baby anytime soon, right? Your contractions are still very far apart. They only come rocketing out in the movies.
I can't.
You can. Look at me. I will not allow you to have this baby alone. I'll be so quick, Doc.
No, Xavier.
The people that we saw are just over the hill, all right? They'll have what we need, but they'll know where to get it.
No, we do not know those people. We don't know what they're capable
They're
of.
just people, Annie, and we're not gonna be scared of them, right? So you just keep walking, keep breathing through your contractions. I'll be back in 15 minutes.
Xavier?
Here, take this.
No.
Just take this.
Please, please don't. Xavier.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Xavier.
Sorry.
Xavier,
We
please
need
don't
help.
go. Xavier.
Right? It's like, I know we don't know everything that's out here in the world. I've already gone through some crap, but I'm gonna choose to believe that something is gonna be here for us rather than against us. And it wound up working out in that way. she needed something very different than you did in that situation, right? So stop hating on me. Stop hating on me.
Did he answer your question? Would you do anything different?
Would I do anything different from what? No.
Oh. In that situation, I could imagine that if I believe that everything's gonna be fine, your body knows what it's doing.
Energy is contagious.
That could be
right.
Both of you brought such the right energy in both of those scenes to the people that you were assisting in terms of birth, right? You brought the trust energy, right? That she had to trust these people, trust herself, trust that the world is not a scary place, right?
Yeah.
At the end of her life, she gets her life lesson. But you also had that moment of like dialing into what this woman in this very dire, could be dire situation, and she's surrounded by everything, right? But there's still that panic. One has nothing, one has everything, but the feeling of fear is the same.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a sterile environment to begin with, and it can be sterile in tone, right? Like there's not, these doctors sometimes are so clinical.
You bring one.
Like she still can feel very alone in that situation. And I think I just imagine what a strong, supportive presence would look like.
Yeah.
Or how, I would want to be spoken to if I was going through something like that.
It's also an emergency C-section. Like the stakes it didn't go according to plan. In either of their situations, it didn't go according to plan.
Right, absolutely. Why don't we say thank you to both of you, James and Sterling, for being a part of this. What an episode of TV. What an episode,
well, thank you.
Like it really was special. And it's special for you guys to be here. I'm appreciative. Thank you for being a part of this podcast with us.
Of course, anytime. I love this man.
This is LA.
I love this man.
You could be doing anything, but you came to be with us and me, and I so appreciate it.
Well,
for real.
Yeah,
thanks,
my pleasure, and thank you for saying all the nice things you said.
Tried to give everyone we found out there some dignity, some grace.
We've got writer-producers John Hoberg and Stephen Markley, who also wrote and conceived this incredible episode. So, first of all, thank you for your time and coming here, because I'm sure you guys were doing something that like really, really brilliant and smart people do. And then you wanted to come and talk to us, which is like really cool. So yay, thank you.
Yeah, well, I want to clarify also, Markley wrote this. So if you're going to hate anybody, you're going to write. I'm one of the writer-producers, but also this has Markley's name, so he is to blame.
You're murderous and you throw people under the bus.
I do, I got it all covered.
So now I know, now I'm situated. That's what smart people do.
Yeah, exactly.
This is, okay, so we were talking a little bit before we got started, because you were saying that it's almost like you had 6 weeks to film a movie with one of the biggest movie stars on the planet. So what was that like, knowing that you had all of this other stuff in the back of your mind that you still have to be responsible? Like, you still have to be responsible for, it's not like you can be like, look at what we did. You have to be responsible for the whole season. So how did you both manage? Did you just hold on to each other for dear life?
Well, it's interesting because for the first, we shot in Graceland with Shailene and none of our other regulars. And so we were shooting in a set that wasn't part of our show with an actor who was brand new. So it was almost like we were filming this movie that had nothing to do with Paradise, which was so odd to do. But also just kind of knowing what was on the way, on the horizon, and knowing how much the worlds are, what the different worlds are, what's coming. I'm so afraid to say anything wrong, by the way. But you're kind of keeping track of everything, because it's like, oh, that might be a nugget that we want to remember and really call out when we get later down the line in the season. So that's one of the things we're keeping an eye on.
And to some degree, it's like we're restarting the show. Like we're doing an entirely different show the second season, right? Like Xavier's out in the world and suddenly the audience is let into like what's going on out there. And so we needed sort of a conduit, a way of seeing what had happened in the world at large. And that's how this character of Annie sort of came to fruition.
How do you even come up with the idea that because it's literally just a very genius move and takes it from being, plodding along, here we go, to something that allows us this whole other 360 of what the world is like, but from this very, very specific point of view. So how do you know you need to do that?
Well, so basically at the end of the season, we knew Xavier had this incredibly strong goal. He had to find his wife. And we knew we were going out into this world, and we wanted to really put him through it, because it's like he had been in, it's hard to call like the bunker a safe place after everything that happened.
Fair.
But he's out in that world, and we want him to experience what that world was like, and we want the audience to experience what that world was like. And so it's funny, at some point during season 1, I feel like all the writers got this idea, like, wait a minute, in some ways this is a Western. Like, Xavier is almost like if you think of those classic Westerns, he is this hero who has a code of honor and a code of ethics, and he lives by that. And he doesn't care if it's the president who's breaking it or somebody else, he'll do what he thinks is the right thing. And so we wanted to put him out into this world almost like a Western hero. And it's like, he's going to have to go through these ordeals. And it's also very important that if he's going to go through this and he's going to have to suffer to try to get to his wife, we need to have both him and the audience deeply invest on an emotional level. And one of the ways you do that is fall in love with someone and then have them taken away. So it was a pretty early thought that this is going to be an important part of the season.
You wrote Shailene's character, you wrote Annie and Xavier as two halves of a whole.
Yeah.
Right? Was that intentional, or did I just?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the way you phrase that. It's to me, I was thinking a lot about this book called A Paradise Built in Hell by this author, Rebecca Solnit. And the basic premise of this book is that when disaster strikes, when there's catastrophe, our imagination says everybody eats each other, everybody acts terribly and overturns cars and loots stores. But the premise of her book is that that's not the case. What you find in disaster is that people act with enormous solidarity and enormous compassion. And so I just kept thinking about that as sort of Xavier's response to coming upon this young woman, is that he's on a mission to find his wife, but that compassion in him is activated. And I think that's sort of one of the themes of our show, is that, compassion as an incredible tool in the fight for survival.
Annie comes to such a profound humanity at the end. Now, granted, a lot is happening.
Sure.
It could be blood loss.
Right.
But
Sure.
she comes to she comes to where so many of us who are on that side of we don't trust anybody and what's gonna happen. She comes to this really deep understanding of herself, and then herself in the world and what she wants for this child.
Right.
And I just thought that was really, really amazing. Now that I know that that's where you guys are, in your mind, you were thinking there might be a better way. There might be a way out of this. And Annie is our window into that way out.
That was probably her worst fear, is strangers coming in.
Yeah.
If you could ask at her most vulnerable, what would be your worst fear? It would be that a bunch of strangers would come in and I'd have to trust them. And there was something beautiful about that in the script, and even in your script form, it was a gorgeous moment. It starts with her fear of people to begin with, and then it ends with this moment of trust at the end.
And it's not just that she has to trust a stranger with her life, it's that as she's dying, she has to trust a stranger with her child, which I think is it's so much a part of, not to give anything away, but Xavier's journey going forward, that this is his charge. This is what he has to do is, not just get to his wife now, but he has to bear this responsibility.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I've been using that phrase in my life and in this podcast the whole time, the holy charge.
It's the idea of, that, again, that compassion and that community with other people being one's holy charge. And I think when they have that conversation about that phrase, Xavier sort of says it incidentally to her. And it's the first time they really connect. It's the first time she has a moment with him that this guy is something special. He is somebody I can trust.
We're all capable of great change, great love, of great promise. That's a holy charge.
A holy charge.
When you realized that you had to kill Annie, how hard was that for you?
Did you cry while you were writing?
I weep when I write the whole time.
Thank you. I think that's what we all want to know. No.
Weep when I sit down. I weep when I get up.
So you're Sterling, basically.
Yeah. No, but we knew she was going to die before we really knew what the character was like, because we had sort of had that idea in our heads. And then like when I was getting to the end, towards the end of writing it and sort of like understanding like the gravity it would hold in the series, I was like, oh, thank God I got this episode, because it was an enormous challenge, but also like very, I don't know, this is the wrong word, but it was fun to go tackle that. You know, it was fun to like go after that challenge and to try to find that moment of grace between these two people in this awful moment.
I wish you hadn't killed her.
One of my favorite scenes in second season is when Xavier's talking to, I forget the character's name, after Annie dies. And it's a monologue that Mark Lee wrote that is just beautiful, just a kind of about time and passage of time and death. And it's just so novelistic, not surprisingly. But it's one of my favorite parts of the whole season.
Yeah, I look at Tony sometimes and I think, I cannot goddamn believe I'm his grandma. It seems like just yesterday I was sneaking off under the bleachers at the football games trying to get laid with my first boyfriend. Now, here I am, an old woman, looking after a snotty little boy with my same eyes, wondering what he'll have to live through. And it all happened just like... We all forget how close we are in time, how quickly our sins become our children's burdens.
Everything starts with the script, with the words, and thank you so much for all of that and for being brilliant. We appreciate you. Go continue to be brilliant.
All right, let's go right. Thank you.
Paradise, the official podcast, is now streaming.
And stream Paradise on Disney+.